Welcome to the Digital Production Buzz at the 2015 NAB show. Hi, this is Larry Jordan, and this interview was recorded live on the trade show floor. For more information, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. Durin Gleaves is the product owner of Adobe Audition. He works with Adobe Systems, in case you hadn't wondered which Adobe I was talking about. Anyway, Durin is a long-time guest on the show, and it's wonderful to have you back.
Happy to be back.
So, what's the news from Adobe? We're going to be talking with Bill Roberts a little later this week and talking about the whole product reveal. But give us a quick summary of what Adobe announced, and I want to focus on Audition.
Sure. Bill Roberts will be able to tell a lot more about what we've really come out with.
Hang on a second.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
With this release, but for Premiere, the big story is color. The color workflows are just phenomenal, and some of the new technologies and mobile apps we're building around color and assisting colors, lumetri layouts and profiles and looks and all that is just incredible. With After Effects, it's really about performance. And the new character animator application that we're coming out with to use a webcam to capture motion and apply that to animation and characters and bring that right into After Effects is great.
Now, we had a conversation earlier on our first show with Oliver Peters, who was talking about the character animator, and with Carrie Dismore about how that works within After Effects. So if you haven't had a chance to hear their conversation in the first show, do watch both Carrie and Oliver. But they were also saying cool stuff has happened to Audition, and I know that's the one that's near and dear to your heart.
That's
so
my baby.
What's happening with Audition?
So we're really focused with this release on improving video workflows. So we're working so much tighter with Premiere Pro these days. When you're sending sequences over to Audition, no more rendering video. We'll just stream that using Dynamic Link right out of Premiere, right into Audition.
Now, what's Dynamic Link?
Dynamic Link is a technology Adobe has for cross-pollinating between the applications. So you might bring in an After Effects project, drop that into your timeline. After Effects is running in the background a headless version, doing all the processing and all the magic that After Effects does, and representing it in your Premiere timeline as just a normal clip. So you can go back and make changes, and it automatically updates in your Premiere project. And so we're doing that with Audition.
So the benefit is essentially you're passing like an XML file, just a small little data snippet over, and Audition is smart enough to know how to interpret all that internal Premiere stuff and play it without us having to waste time rendering a file to be able to see what the picture looks like.
Exactly.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So what else have you done with Audition? I mean, like, what more? I want more.
Well, to go along with that, there's no point in having video if you can't see it in all its beautiful gorgeousness. So now we have external monitor support, so you can pop your video display up on the screen on the big monitor. If you're doing ADR, you can pipe it right into the booth, and they can lip sync along at whatever resolution your video is at.
Yeah, but the problem is, the more that you're starting to do video playback, the more computing resources you're taking away from the audio, which reduces my track count, which reduces the filters that I can work with. It means that I can't do as much with my audio because all this bandwidth is taken up with video. How do you solve that conundrum?
Upgrade your systems? No. No, again, our focus on all our applications is really always improving performance. Things are going to always get bigger and louder and take up more resources. And so we just have to come up with better ways of handling the memory and handling the disk space, disk usage. And Audition's always been a pretty lightweight application, memory-wise and CPU-wise. So we play pretty well. Premiere's still running, but you're not having all that UI on top if it's running in the background on through this Dynamic Link. So it's a lot more efficient for these kind of workflows as well.
So if I wanted to equip a system for Audition, do I need to overload it with RAM, or what kind of RAM footprint do you recommend for audio mixing?
If you're mixing to video, the footprint obviously goes up. A couple gigabytes is a great start. You don't really need a lot. Audition's pretty lightweight, but the more you throw at it, the better it runs. So
will you take advantage of more RAM?
Yes, we will. We'll take advantage of more processors. We'll take advantage of faster disks. All that stuff really, SSD drives especially, really have the best performance for the dollar.
GPU acceleration, is that relevant for audio?
It's not relevant for the sound, but for the video streaming and for the UI, we can do some of the spectral processing that we do can take advantage of a little bit of GPU.
Now, I've had many conversations with you in the past, and just listening to you talk about Audition Your Baby is just a fun thing to do. What's the feature that you like the best that hasn't gotten anywhere near the amount of love from Adobe PR that you wish it had?
I'm impressed with our loudness tools. We've had loudness correction for years, and it's just been the last couple of years that we've really seen that in the industry. People, for broadcasters and radio and television, the Calm Act and these new loudness requirements. And I'm seeing our customers dropping $5,000 on a plugin when we have the same tools there for 5 years now.
Well, that's the radar, isn't it? That sweeps around, that shows how loud your sound is.
That's a passive meter, so you can see if you're mixing manually.
Because that is so cool to watch. I mean, even if I don't understand what it's doing, it makes such pretty pictures.
Yeah, those are from our friends over at TC Electronic, and yeah, that's some great eye candy, and it's useful. I mean, it's all on one screen. You have all these different loudness measurements and numbers coming at you, and if as long as you know what they are, they're great and they're useful. But yeah, that cloud.
So that's a good question. Where do we go to learn how to read all this stuff? I mean, the loudness meter shows me all kinds of interesting stuff, but I don't necessarily know exactly where to be setting my settings. How can I make sure that I'm learning how to use the gear properly?
I think that's part of our struggle too. We do share that information on our blog, and we do share it on Twitter and our forums, but it tends to be a little spread out, and if you don't know what to look for, it can be a little difficult to find. So I think one of our missions over the next year is to really consolidate that information for folks who are now having to deal with loudness and having to deal with broadcast regulations and the legalities behind all that. And if I can do anything to keep folks from getting fined, I think it's great.
Oh, yeah. and just to be able to analyze your clip and say, we've got holes here, or it looks, we do a lot of mixing with our live show, and the audio engineer I get together after every show, look at the waveform and study the levels and do the analysis just to see, is this making the sense that we want it to? So the tools that you provide are amazing.
Thanks.
And fun to work with. I love working in Audition every day. The buzz is recorded in Audition and mixed in Audition. We work with it on a weekly basis. So
excellent.
We're firm believers. Thinking of that, where can people go on the web to learn more about Audition and the other products that Adobe's got to offer?
You can always come to adobe.com. We have the latest information there. Lots of tutorials through Adobe TV and some of our partners. You can come to our forums, the Adobe Audition forums, user forums, and we post every day on Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else.
And the person that's doing a lot of the posting is Durin Gleaves. He's the product owner, which puts him right up near the angels of Adobe Audition with Adobe Systems. Durin, thanks for joining us
Thanks,
today.
Larry.
Take care.